This is a cute little basket full of Queen Anne's lace, which is wild carrot, apparently. So you can use carrot tops or you can use Queen Anne's lace. And I'm using, oh, there's a little ladybug. We don't want you to die in the dye vat. I'm using this to dye some really pretty fine cotton lawn fabric that Adam wants to make something for me with. Now I'm going to mordant this in some alum. Since it's not wool, I'm going to work as hard as I can to get it to take the color. I may go cut some more of this so I have plenty. But that's what it's going to look like. Pretty, pretty flowers. We don't have a lot of this in our property, but we have enough. It's starting to rain, so I'm going to have to take this inside. Now, here are the tops. I went back and cut some of the greenery instead of the flowers, just the flowers, because I really think the greenery would give better color. But this is going to give me a really beautiful, soft yellow. Isn't that nice? Very pale yellow, won't be bright. I mean, the color there is kind of bright, but once you take the fabric out, it's very pale. But I love this fabric. So I'm gonna take out the greenery, rinse the fabric. I was gonna put it on the line to dry, but I wanted to show you this gorgeous yellow. Now, it's not consistent, as you would expect with natural dyeing. There's like paler sections and darker sections. I love this yellow. It is so gorgeous. It's a little bit darker than you're seeing on the screen. Just a little bit, just a little deeper. But I'm very, very pleased. This is 2 yards of cotton lawn, very, very thin cotton fabric that you would make like a nightgown out of. And so Adam's going to make something out of it for me probably. I might do it myself. We'll see. It might just be a simple nightgown or something. Night shirt. Oh yeah, that's a nice dark yellow. Let me hold it up so my finger's not in the way. Okay. Now the next fabric I have is more cotton lawn. I believe that's what that is. This is a silk. That might be the cotton lawn. I'm not sure which is which. Maybe they're both the same. Adam would know. Anyway, I've got 3 pieces of fabric here, and what I have to dye with next is deep purple dockseed. I have a huge bag still of lichen, and I have a lot of avocado pits and avocado skins. So I might do the avocado in the pink. I think that's going to be for some kind of a camisole or a bra or corset or I don't know what, some undergarment. So pink might be nice. And so one of these will be with the dock seeds and one of them will be with the lichen. Now that is a lot of dock seed. Oh my goodness, huge amount. I'm going to put water in this. I'm also going to look in Jenny Dean's book, Wild Color, and see if she has any words of wisdom about dyeing with dock seeds and not with the leaves. I let these dock seeds soak overnight. Now I've brought them back up to just a very low simmer and turned off the heat. And I've got my cotton lawn over here. This is a good bit of fabric, but that was a good bit of dye stuff. And I also put a little bit of, in addition to alum to mordant it, I also put a little bit of iron water in there, probably a couple tablespoons. Didn't seem to have done much, but we'll see. The lady whose video I was watching said the iron water really did take it to a very dark brown. I don't know if that'll work with this. I'm going to keep the seeds in there since I'm using fabric and not wool or yarn. So we'll see how it does. I'm continuing with my dyeing adventures. I have a big old bag of avocado skins and stones, and I'm going to be putting them into a nice long simmering dye bath. I was looking for help from my dyeing books on what to do with avocado, and I've done avocado before, but I didn't want to have to go fishing through my videos, and it's not up in my head, and I didn't take any notes. Maybe that's an idea. Maybe I should start writing down my dyeing results. Anyway, I found nothing really of any help in any of my books. Jenny Dean had nothing on avocados because I think she wants things that are foraged. She's, what is she, the wild color, so she wants wild stuff. Well, avocados aren't really wild. They're, in Walmart's vegetable section. Let me get my my dye bath going. And this one's going to simmer for 2 or 3 days. I'm not going to boil it. Matter of fact, I need to turn it down real quick. And I got a good result last time. I'll put a link up there to the video I did before when I did some avocado dyeing. And it was very pretty. And it was yarn. This time I'm going to dye a silk and have some pink silk, which would be nice. So yeah, I'm cutting my avocado stones, which I didn't do before, and now they're really hard, so we'll see if I can make it work. This is a small piece of white silk that is going to go into my avocado dye bath now that it has been working. The dye bath has been working for about 48 hours. I do want the fabric to be nicely saturated and wet in fairly warm water before I put it in there. That may seem strange. You may think that it would absorb the dye liquid better if it were dry. I have read and watched other dyers say that it's important for it to be wet. This does not have a mordant in it. You don't need a mordant with avocados, so I'm not gonna I just have to get it wet and then put it in. All right, let's see what kind of pink we're going to get. It's a very strong dye bath, I do believe. I've taken the dye stuff out mostly because it took up all the room. There's a little piece of avocado skin left. But I really need the room in the dye bath for the fabric, and so I had to take it out. I think it'll be fine. Okay, I'm going to leave this in here to soak on a very low heat for the day and cover it, and then let it just sit overnight, and we'll check on it tomorrow. 3 natural dyes now. I love what the Queen Anne's lace did. Isn't that just beautiful? That's a great yellow. This is the dock seeds that I had so much of, but I also had a very large piece of fabric. So it's pretty pale beige with kind of a rosy tone. Now here's the small piece of silk. I think it's about a yard. It's got a beautiful sheen. It's got a kind of a golden look to it. Adam loves it. It's a little bit of a light peachy bronze. Anyway, I've got another piece of silk he wants me to dye, and I've got a piece of white right here. And the 2 things I have left to dye with are a huge bag of lichen right there, and a whole lot of onion skins up here that I've been collecting for a long time. So that's what we're going to use. Yes, now we are on to lichen. And this was really only, I packed this pot into the water. I packed it full of lichen, and this is only a portion, I'd say a sixth maybe of what was in that big bag. I don't think I need more than this because I'm going to put in another small 1 yard piece of silk. Adam wanted a second piece of silk, and all of these natural dyes kind of go well together, but he wanted another color that would go with the avocado one that I did. That turned out more peachy than pink, which is just fine. I like that better. But I think that this will go well, and he's going to use that, I think, to make a corset for me. So we're going to let this stew a little bit. Here is the second piece of silk that I dyed in lichen. Boy, yeah, I guess you can kind of see. It's not really orange. It's kind of a goldy, not really yellow. It's mostly a gold. It's very pretty. I think it'll look nice. So I've got a pot of dye bath left. Do I want to use it for an exhaust or not? Is there dye left in there? Well, Adam has taught me a great way to find out if you still have viable dye in there that you want to put in. Do I want to prep some wool to put in there? Do I want to bother with that? So he taught me to do a chromatograph. Is that right? Chromatograph. So that's what this is. There's some of the dye liquid. It looks like a really good beer. This little piece of paper in there is part of a coffee filter that I cut up. And you only want to put the end of the paper in. I just have a bit here. I'll turn it around here and you can see it sticks in there. And you want it to draw it up the paper. And then when it gets to the top, you let it sit in there for a bit, and when it gets to the top, at the line on the top, whatever color is there, that is the dye color that you have left. And so if it's just kind of a vague beigey look, well, I'm not going to bother, and I'll just throw this out. But it's really hard to tell. I mean, it can, a liquid can look like that and yet not have any dye left in it that would really dye fabric or fiber. So this is a way to check before you go to all the trouble to mess with more wool. I hope you enjoyed that short video about all my dyeing adventures recently. The difference here is that I was dyeing on fabric instead of wool, fiber, or yarn. And so dyeing the fabric ended up being really different. The yellow, the Queen Anne's lace was phenomenal, and I'm definitely doing that again. I would do it today, but it's so hot out there, I don't want to go gather any. It's so hot here. Oh, it was 101 degrees the other day, Fahrenheit, and I think the heat index was 109. So I just don't go out. But I did feel like the avocado was a bit too pale, much more pale pink than I used to get. And definitely the lichen did not perform like it does on wool, where it gets this vibrant orange that is so appealing. So I will keep on trying. I want to try the dock seed again. I want to have a better balance between dye stuff and my fiber or my fabric. I think I had too much fabric, even for that much dye stuff. So always trial and error and lots of fun. And now all that fabric has gone over to Adam's sewing shack because he is a much better sewer than I am, and he'll make something of it. He's working on various garments for me. So all right, I don't know what's happening next week except for I have children and grandchildren here. So it's going to be a hairy and very fun week, and I don't know what I'll share with you out of that. We'll see. Bye-bye.